Welcome to a new edition of The World in the Pocket, and it's me again, your Gabi Hense. Today I travel with you virtually to Lithuania. In the capital Vilnius, I welcome a true cosmopolitan person with Italian roots, Portuguese family ties, speaking Japanese, but living in England. This is James Russo. Hello, James.
Hello, Gabby. Hello.
Why
Only a little bit Japanese.
only a little bit? Yes, yeah, you told me. Why did you decide to go in the summer to Lithuania?
So I've been with my girlfriend used there for 6 months. And she was going back for the first time in 2 years,
Oh,
because of the pandemic.
yes.
Um, and I was invited. Um, or rather her mum demanded I come, maybe,
Oh,
to Lithuania. And I've never been to Lithuania or any other Eastern European country, so it was like an obvious thing to do.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
So you had immediately the inside view, living in a family. What was your first impression?
um, really good potatoes.
Oh,
um, so obviously, she cooked kind of very traditional Lithuanian dishes like meatballs um, and other potato dishes. And yeah, just seeing like how they eat breakfast, um, and other things like desserts, and we had parties as well, so people brought different dishes, and yeah, it was amazing.
mhm.
Yeah.
So how would you say, how are the people? Are they more East European? Some say they are more German. So what was your impression, or could you have?
So I mean, I've been to Germany, but I haven't been to other Eastern European countries. So they were very friendly, very talkative. Um, the sense of humor didn't feel German. It felt different, but
Mhm.
sometimes the way people looked, it did feel, or the way some buildings were
Yeah.
styled, obviously, because parts of Lithuania were
Mhm.
probably owned by Germany, or there was German influences or people living there.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, they were very warm. Sometimes when I asked Lithuanians about Lithuanians, they would say, "Oh, sometimes they're not so talkative, or they're
Yeah.
not very approachable." Um, but most friends and family I met were very lovely and warm, and strangers as well. They were very approachable, and most people spoke English as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, so it was very accessible.
Did you learn already a little bit of Lithuanian?
So aš suprantu, no, aš truputį suprantu lietuviškai.
Wow, what is
So
it?
I speak a little Lithuanian, but it's a lie. Yeah.
Good.
I'm actually learning a little bit every day. So
Superb. Yeah, it's good to understand the family, what
yeah,
they're saying about you. So
yeah,
Vilnius, you're now in Vilnius. Uh,
yeah.
a lot of people say it's not the most interesting place in Lithuania. Have you been in other places as well?
So I've been in Vilnius now for about 3 weeks. Well, no, in Lithuania for about 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
I've been in druskininkai for like a week, and then I was on the coast for 4 days, and I've been back in Vilnius since then.
Yeah.
So no, Vilnius, I found it's like a beautiful city because it's not there aren't loads of glass and steel buildings everywhere. It's very old stone buildings and brick buildings, and quite like a nice pastel color palette to the buildings, and cobble streets, so it's very and much smaller than London, so it's very feels very human.
Mhm.
You can walk over the city in about an hour, maybe. You can get to most places in the city.
Yeah.
um so no, I found it's been super charming, and
And the
churches everywhere.
and the nightlife?
um so there's like pockets of nightlife. I went to the same two places a few times already, and they're fantastic. Very bohemian, late night Cafe de Paris and another bar. So
Uh-huh.
I don't really go clubbing that much, so I can't say about the clubs, but
Fair enough.
um, yeah, the bar's been nice.
You mentioned another town, Drus
Palanga,
druskininkai, or I can't say it, sorry.
druskininkai, I think it is, or druskininkai.
Yeah, that seems very close to the Belarusian border, isn't it?
Super close, yeah.
So
Very
why
close.
did you go there?
So that's her hometown where she grew up.
Okay.
And so it's a very like a forest town, if I can call it. It's like surrounded by huge pine forests. I've never seen forests like this ever, like really tall red pine trees. And the town's really cute. So there's loads of, old wooden Lithuanian style buildings and, a church in the middle.
Mhm.
Uh, and it's very peaceful, very cute. I mean, it's still, there's like quite a lot of tourists go there because there's a big indoor snow center,
Oh,
skiing and snowboarding center. And it's famous for Chulonis. He's like the most famous Lithuanian artist. So he's from there.
okay.
And yeah, we drove around to like through the forest. We found lakes to swim in, and
Hmm.
there, I've never had a holiday like this, so it was
Seems
yeah.
very pleased. And the Baltic Sea, could you swim there as well, or is it too cold?
So I have to be honest, I didn't swim, but it wasn't because of the sea itself. It would have been cold, but not too bad. But the first day I got there, it was late, and the next day I was traveling around to Nida on the Coronian split,
Oh,
and then I went to Palanga on the next day. And because I was moving around quite a lot, I never had the right time. But
yeah.
in Palanga, it was beautiful white sand beaches. So
Yeah, that seems to be the seaside resort of Lithuania, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, and there was a lot of nightlife there too. And um, so yeah, I mean, I was super impressed. Yeah,
And how is the Coronian spit? It appeals to me personally, not only because the famous German writer Thomas Mann had a summer house
mm,
there. I think it was in Nida, wasn't it?
yeah,
The spit is a UNESCO World Natural Heritage. So is it open to go there, or do you need like a ticket to buy to go there? You need a ferry, yeah, to cross, or how?
yeah. So I am from Klaipeda. There's it's like 5 minutes on the ferry.
Hmm.
Um, it was a few euros, so it was very cheap. And then it was about, so I did want to visit all the towns along the split, but there just wasn't time. So I just went straight to Nida on a coach, about 1 hour maybe.
Yeah.
And it was raining. So yeah, I went there on maybe the worst day, because the day after that and day before was beautiful sunshine.
Mm.
But it was still really interesting. I saw the dunes, I saw the no-go zone, and then the area that is Russia beyond that.
Yeah, it's
Um,
split. Yeah, the spit
yeah,
is split.
yeah. There's a split in the split, and it's like a forest area that where like a
Mhm.
nature reserve where no one goes. But no, it was really fascinating. I could tell, oh, if it was a bit sunny, it would be beautiful. And it was just very charming again. It was like, the locals were very friendly. There were a lot of tourists there, like Lithuanian tourists.
Ah, mhm. And
And
foreign tourists?
I couldn't tell. I didn't hear any like Italian tourists or French tourists, but
Okay.
I could imagine that there's probably tourists there, a lot of tourists. Yeah,
And from Klaipeda, that's the biggest port, isn't it? So there
yeah,
ferries or cruise liners even in?
yeah. I saw some big cruise liners there. So yeah, Klaipeda was the biggest area, and then you can go north to Palanga,
Hmm.
about half an hour on a bus,
Okay.
a few euros. I got massively lost in the countryside, thinking I could walk half the way there. So I was rescued by an Irish accented Lithuanian man who who drove me there for 20 euros. And it's a €1 bus ride. So but
It was a rip-off a little bit.
yeah, but
Enough.
I had his company. His company was worth 20 euros. So
Yeah. Good. Obviously, your girlfriend stayed at home and you were by your own.
by that time she'd left.
Okay, yeah.
She's already left Lithuania. So the first week and a half, I was probably with her in druskininkai in Vilnius, and then I went to the coast by myself, and I'm back in Vilnius now, just on my own.
So
but I will go back to London soon, and then come back to Lithuania in the last week of August.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think your conclusion is clear already. Is a holiday in the Baltic states like Lithuania a good alternative to holidays in the Mediterranean, like Italy?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I was very close to, once she had left, to going to Croatia.
Yes.
But in the last day I was there with her, and her younger brother convinced me that, it's worth seeing the coast, and in the sunshine, huge white sand beaches, and there are forests, which I'm not, you can obviously find forests in the Mediterranean, but these are like real forests, like dense forests. There are ticks, but I stayed out of the long grass, which is where they live. So I think I'm fine so far.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I think you not only fell in love with your girlfriend, you fell in love with her home country as well.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to impress her or anyone by saying, oh yeah, it was nice, and secretly I'd rather be in Italy. Like it's been amazing. I think because it's much smaller than London, and it's more kind of human in a way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's lovely. And I've been to many of her friends' homes in the forests, where they're raising children in idyllic forest scenes, and it's a good advert for
So maybe
living in
you
Lithuania.
will end up there at some point.
No.
You never know. James, it was very interesting to talk to you. Thank you really for your time. Enjoy your summer wherever and whenever it is possible. And
Yeah.
go back. Why not?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabby.
Time is up, she is here, and they are here. I've got the world in my pocket. And I like it. The vibe is up, she is here, and they are here. I've got the world in my pocket. I've got the world in my pocket. I've got the world in my pocket.